This is Kemper Profiler Tones and Tracks. My name is Tom Wendt and I'm here with Mr. Thomas Dill.
Yeah, welcome too. The idea behind all that videos in that rig show is that tone show is to have just one rig and get more sounds out of one rig using effects, switching effects on and off, using the morphing to create these different sounds. And in episode 1, it's with a melody harmonic delay. And I just play one note. I try to play one note. Here we are. This is the melody harmonic delay. It creates a melody. That's what it says. But there are several things to get this sound. It's not only the melody harmonic delay. And I will start from scratch.
Okay, cool.
Just the profile. I will share the screen so that you can see my rig manager. You see it?
I do see it indeed.
Oh, very great.
So, and for the people who are just listening on the audio podcast now, the Rig Manager is the editing software and the librarian for the Kemper Profiler, where you can organize all your tones, your rigs. Plus, you have this editor where you can remote control all the features of the Kemper Profiler. So you have a full view of the signal path and a full view on all the parameters Thomas is using for his tone.
Yeah, okay, so I'll start with the amp, and the amp profile is a Bell & Howell amp. And for those guitar players who don't know Bell & Howell amps, these are no real guitar amps. They are a movie projector that Bell & Howell built in the 50s. And this movie projector has a built-in speaker and, of course, a built-in amplifier. And in the 50s, they made the amplifiers with tube circuits. And it's a great, Fender Tweed-like amp, which is used often in studios as a secret weapon. And we have one profile in the rig packs from the Profiler's stock rigs. It's in Bert Moellendijk's rigs.
All right, I didn't know that. Wow, because Tim Pierce, I knew he was doing a couple of videos on this, because he had this projector in his studio, and he talked a little bit about this, and they are basically a different version of the old tube radios.
Yeah,
we used to have. I mean, I'm an old white man, and when I started, I had this tube radio from my grandma, which I modified that I could plug the guitar in, and that was also tubes and this 60s or 50s hi-fi speaker. Interesting. I didn't realize that. Yeah.
And they start to distort very early and at a very low level. So it's a great recording amp for that. And Bert did, I think he profiled 2 of them in his rig pack, which he sells, but we have one in the stock profiles here, and this is the one I used for this rig. It's the Fillmore Crunch from here, Bert Moellendijk 1 and 2.
Ah, yeah, okay. So for the people out there, There are free rig packs which are available when you install the rig manager and activate access to the factory content, or no, even more, it goes beyond the factory content that's pre-installed on the Kemper Profiler. So it's really worthwhile to get the rig manager going and browse through all the stuff that's available for free from amazing profile makers.
You have 1,440 rigs from professional profile makers, and they sound really good.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the amp. That was your idea, and
Amp, just to listen to it. That's the amp.
Cool.
Sounds a bit of. I think it's a more growly sound than a Fender Tweed, and it's just a simple amp. The original has just one volume knob and one tone knob, so easy going. And the next thing I used is a compressor. This compressor, just with slight setting, I changed a bit the pickups. I use both pickups on the ES and turn the volume a bit down to get a more cleaner tone. That's the tone. And with the compressor, it's just to have the notes a bit more at the same level. I come to that later, because to get the ghost notes at the same level as the played notes. So it's just a bit of compression. Next thing, always reverb. Big reverb. I want to have this huge cathedral sound, which is has a great low end when I'm playing one note. And that's about it. Next is the EQ. It's just to have a little bit tone shaping. You see here, mid gain is a bit raised on 1.7 dB, 2K. And sometimes I use the high cut to get a more speaker similar sound. So the guitar speaker has goes to about 6,000, 7,000 hertz, and you all don't need that higher frequency. So I do a radical high cut, sometimes going to 6 or 5, just to get rid of those high frequencies wherever they come from. But not in that case. Now, the main part. Melody harmonic delay. So,
wow, a lot of knobs.
But don't be afraid. It's easy. You have, in that delay, you have 4 delays. Can we say that? 4
yes,
delays?
of course. Yeah.
And you can adjust different note values. So I've set it to time sync. So I have in my rig the tempo set to 128 BPM. That's the tempo of the song. And then the first delay gives me 3/16 notes. So that's an 8 note, then 5/16 notes, 7/16 note, and 8/16 notes, which is a half note. So this is the rhythm.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, then this delay don't repeat the original note. You get a pitch shifted note. And it's not only a pitch shifted note, it's a harmonized pitch shifted note. You can set here the key. Set on guitar player's key A minor or C. And the intervals the delay gives to me are the 6th, the 5th, the 11th, which means this is the 4th, an octave higher, then the 10th, the third an octave higher, and I just play it now. And the melody it creates is and so on, everything in the key of A or A minor. So what you can do is just play one note and the melody goes on. You can adjust volume for each delay. Here I have, in this delay, I have everything on 10 and the panning of those delayed notes. This is interesting.
Okay.
So the first note comes on the left side, second note on the right, third note on the left, and the fourth note on the right. Because normally it's the question, hey, why don't you play it?
Right.
But you can't play it in the panorama, and you can't play these overlaying sounds. When I just start, and now I can play a second note. It's sometimes it's getting boring when you only play this one. I play a second note on the, I think, 2 end. To create these overlaying melodies made by the delay. So this is the first delay. Then I have a second one. I switch it on. And I don't use both at the same time. That will be too drastic. The second delay makes this note. Oh, I play the A on the 6th string, and the delay gives me B, C, and D, an octave higher. And this is set to, yeah, you see it here. Wait a minute. Here it is. The 9th, the 10th, and the 11th. And interval 4 is unison, but don't care about that because interval 4 is set to 0 volume. I have only a 3-note melody created by the delay. Everything understandable?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not so much about the nitty-gritty details, just the concept and the point that the profiler is actually capable of doing this, because I myself, and I think a lot of people, sometimes don't realize how much of deep editing for some of the advanced effects which are in there is possible, and then how creatively you could use this to even step out a little bit more as a guitar player, to be much more musical and to contribute much more to a musical performance than just playing the typical guitar player parts, which are great and of course always great to have. So
and for me, it's great to have the rig manager, the editor. It's a great thing because you have everything, you see everything. Just of course, when you work in the studio, I don't have that much rigs in the profiler. I just edit everything in the rig manager and can store it. You see here that tone show. I created a folder for that tone show sounds and have them every time I want to play them. They are here, and you have this great overview. So these are the 2 delays, and I switch in this at the end of the video. I switch between those using morphing, because it's just to think about a live situation. I've often used morphing to switch between effects. Because you can do it uh, having both delays on separate foot switches and then switch one on, the other off with one step might works. Sometimes in the stage situation it doesn't work when you're too far from the profile or from the remote and have to jump back or something like that. So for me it's just one click is easy. And to see here we have the mix knob at
you bring one in and you morph the other one out, and vice versa.
You see? I
see.
just press the morph button.
Yeah. I mean, you could also toggle, you know that?
In the effect.
You can assign both delays to the same switch on the remote.
That's right.
And then you could also toggle, but it's not so musical and organic then because you can have this smooth transitions between these effects, and I think that's also a big key of the way it sounds, because it's musical. It goes with the flow.
I thought about doing that, setting both delays on one switch, but I wanted to have in the middle of the part the delay one off. And that's what you can't do with one switch. You can either use one or two, delay one or delay two. So I've put both on separate switches, and then addition to that, use the morph button to switch between both.
Yeah, that's really amazing, and I was wondering how you would do this, because I thought it needs a lot of organizing and thinking, which it of course does, but most probably not as much as I was expecting. And the track you created for this, that's also something that's I think really important. That's what you did with all that tone show tracks. You also come up with musical environments for these effects, or vice versa. I think that's also something that is really interesting to discuss, because if you look at this track here, the melody delay track, then it's like a dance track, and it's played. You could play it with a regular 3-piece band, drums, bass. If you have a click, everybody's on time, and your guitar, which does basically synthesized arpeggios and stuff like that. And if you would imagine a singer, it would be like a regular dance track, which is a little bit tamed, because the sounds are not so crazy as you would do with the synthesizers. But it's a completely different thing, and the dish you prepare for the listener is much more interesting than what you hear from a typical 3-piece band. And that's also what we think is the mission here with that tone show, to just give people some ideas on how to use the guitar a little bit more creatively, if you have the urge to do that and make a difference, because that's also the thing with smaller ensembles. You're able to do more if you have some cool gear available and your mindset, which, especially in these days and in this day and age, is an advantage, because you can do so much more on your own, and you don't have so much of an overhead when you streamline your act. So how was that process? If we can move on, because everybody can watch the video on YouTube, of course, and you have made all your parameters available. So stop at any point, at any given point, and you can see what Thomas was programming there. and the rigs yet at least still are not for download. We get these requests, of course, but I don't know how you call it in English. In German, we have this thing, it's called Oberlehrer, which is, the annoying teacher, so to say, because we thought it would be much more educating for you guys out there if you would rebuild these things manually, and during that, of course, hear the changing of the tones and how all this comes together, and hopefully most probably get inspired as well, and you would be taken to a completely different track. We don't know. Let us know what you think. If you require to get the rigs for downloads, you have seen. Thomas has all of them as a rig manager folder available.
€1,000.
That's also possible, of course. We could do something. I thought this. I just saw this today. The Tone Junkie created the rig pack that gives, and he's selling a rig pack, and he will take all that what comes in to charity.
Oh, great!
To help people get food and stuff like that, and maybe that would be something. Not to have something for $1,000 each rig, but I don't know. We can think about it.
Think about it. Yeah.
Regardless, let us know how you get along with trying to recreate them on your own, or if there are any difficulties. And just let us know. We'll be happy to answer questions from one podcast to the other as well. But now back to the thing. What's really interesting to me. So we talked about the idea of doing something like this, the tone show thing. But then you came just out of the blue with the first videos, and I was wondering, what was first? Do you sit there and think, there are complicated delays in the profiler nobody knows about. I will use one of the complicated delays and make something about this, and then some music followed? Or did you think of, what type of music requires sequenced stuff? And you came from the music and tried to find the settings with the delays, if it's possible to answer that, because usually
it's easy
things are a process.
Very
Just
easy.
let us know.
I'm sitting always here and sometimes jamming. Turn the profiler on, and I just have a little idea to play on the guitar. It's always different. Sometimes I let the sound lead me, and totally easy taking some presets. So I don't know. I think maybe one of those two melody harmonic delays are just presets. I took it into this Bell and Howell because I love this profile, and then start playing. What does the delay do with me? Where does it lead me? And when I have the tempo, I've an idea. Normally, I have here iPad doing some video sketches just to keep it. And I started to do videos because in the earlier days I just recorded something as a note, voicemail note or something like that, and I listened 2 weeks later to that. Didn't know how I was playing that. Because
I know. I know that.
You don't know where you were playing. Was it that effect doing that notes? Or what chords? In some other episodes there are some reverbs with different chords, and I couldn't find out if I just was listening to that, couldn't find what I was playing. So every time video.
Yeah, you are absolutely right, because I realized that as well, and I started to do that because after all these years, I was revisiting the last album of mine, which I only do as a hobby, so don't expect anything, people out there. But I was just thinking, oh, it would be fun to, being able to play to some friends again. I mean, a live performance, and I was with some solo guitar parts, I was totally lost. It was really hard work to listen to this and try to find the notes, and then to come up with. It was not that. No, I'm missing the word. That finger setting was not that complicated. It couldn't have been, because I played that stuff live as well, but I couldn't figure it out. So definitely, to make a long story short, video is a very, very, very good idea, and it's then easy to share it with your bandmates as well, and to make things a little bit more transparent, especially when you're playing some open chords and doing triads and stuff like that.
Open tunings, alternate tunings or something like that. Get crazy.
Right.
And tip from me, before you start, start playing, tell the guy what tuning you're in. Sometimes I'm what is it, that get or something like that? No, open D. Oh yeah, getting crazy. And then when I have these little sketches, I'm opening my DAW and play the riff or something what I created at first, and record that to a click or something like that, and then start building the drum patterns, the bass patterns around the guitar track. So for me, it's really in 90% first guitar part.
Okay.
In these little tracks, or when I'm doing some review jam tracks or something like that, it's always first. The guitar part is first. Melody or guitar part first. And I'm building everything around.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's really, really inspiring. And we could go on and go on and go on. But don't forget, people, we have 21 episodes coming up for you. Amazing tone tips in that tone show episodes. And so we will wrap it up here.
Wait a minute.
Only if we missed something.
For me, just one tips, because the rigs. If somebody takes these rigs and plays, so that's something what I want to say to that. There are some special minimal things, so like to put down turn down the volume on the guitar, because otherwise you won't get that sound in the video. And for these melody harmonic delays, it's interesting to play with just short and long notes. What I was thinking about to make this interesting, it's oh, wait a minute, volume on, and the other one. Sounds different. And what I found out, it's really crazy, a great delay, because it reacts fantastic.
You're spooky.
So you can create much stuff, but don't play chords. Just play single notes, and you can play overlaying single notes. That works fine. And you can play ghost notes. This is great with the other part. Sounds great too.
Yeah.
And this is what I meant before, where I use the compressor, you know? When I turn the compressor off, you don't hear the ghost notes. So that's very crucial for that sound. And it sounds nice when you repeat one note. So these are the small tips for using the melody harmonic delay.
Awesome. Really inspiring. And I could see, you know, a band just use that and create a song with this. Just one question. If you would consider to do this live, how would you get the tempo going if you would have, you know, for example, a 3-piece band going on?
Only the drummer holds the tempo. I would usually I tap the tempo because sometimes drummers getting a little bit faster, or even if they play with click, it can vary. So
you retap. So while you're playing, you every once in a while you retap, or have you ever used the beat scanner, you know, constantly?
Not live, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm the old-fashioned guy, the tapper guy, not tapping guy. So tapper guy.
Okay.
I start normally when I use a lot of synced delays in live situations. So this U2 tempo delay stuff, and I usually set that in the rehearsal to the tempo we are playing. Sometimes the drummer has a click, sometimes he has no click, but he has a stable playing drumming tempo. So I correct a bit, but it works perfect.
Okay, good to know.
So
because that's possible if you tap to the drums and you start to play and it starts to drift, you can, you know, retap to bring it back. Right, of course.
So this is sometimes the manager said once to me, "Hey man, you're tapping at your pedal board all the time." I said, "Yeah, with the tempo varied."
Awesome.
Subbing drummer varying the tempo of the song. I needed to do that.
But that's also amazing. I mean, the technology then now allows for, you know, this organic stuff that the drummers can drag or rush when needed, and that you can follow, and that you're not, you know, shackled to a MIDI click or so, that everything is so steady.
For recording, just one tip. As you see in the rig manager, I don't need to show the rig manager. Sometimes when we have 128 beats per minute, and I want to have those delays be a bit laid back, I take 127.8 or something like that. So you can vary with the tempo of the delay a little bit, just 5/10 of one beat or something like that, and you get a different feel. As if you record with delay time, check that out. And you can sometimes it's cool to play a little bit behind the beat, but let the delay rush a bit. So you can create, as I say, rhythmic tension on some tracks. It's not crucial to have set the time perfectly and only that works. Sometimes it works a bit different.
Cool.
Yeah.
So many great advice and a lot of things to try out, I guess.
And a lot of fun.
And a lot of fun. So people out there, try this at home, try this on stage, and retap. And have a lot of fun at home and on stage.
And
with,
don't play those melody harmonic delays in a blues band.
Yeah, that might be interesting. The audience might be
scared.
Might be. That's for another podcast. All right, Thomas, thank you so much for all these videos to begin with, and now for hopefully our successful attempt to allow a little bit more in-depth looks into these concepts, and also in this wide array of tones that are available with the Kemper Profiler. This is Thomas Dill. This is That Tone Show. That was episode 1. My name is Tom Wendt, and see you next time.
Bye.